What we're going to talk about now a little bit is, in terms of reproduction, we're going to talk about developing heifers, even though we have some cows behind us, and what it's going to take to be successful, reproductively speaking, on the female side. Like we talked about the bulls, we want to have females are going to become reproductively fertile, or going to become fertile at about 14 to 15 months of age. Some perhaps a little bit sooner, some perhaps a little bit later, depending on breed type. And it's also tied with about 65% of their mature weight, or their body size. And if you don't have a scale and you don't know what 65% of the mature weight of your cow herd is, look at your sales receipts and take 65% of that, and that's about what your heifers ought to be at in terms of weight at about 14 to 15 months of age. Now, when you select heifers at weaning, most of the time we select heifers on the basis of actual weaning weight, and again, if you don't have scales, you're going to select them on the basis of their size at that particular point. And that's where a calving season really helps, because those animals that are born earlier in the calving season are going to be heavier when you select them, and as a result, because they are heavier, they have less to gain to get to that target weight of 65%. And let me just kind of give you a little bit of an example. If we say the average birth weight in your herd is 80 pounds, for every day that calf is alive, they're going to gain about 2 pounds. So in about 7 months, about 210 days, they're going to weigh 420 pounds of gain, plus 80 pounds from birth, so that's a total of 500 pounds. A calf that's born 30 days later than that heifer, if you're going to try to select these heifers all at one time, well, she's going to weigh 60 pounds less, so she's only going to weigh 440 pounds. If your target weight for breeding your heifers is 650 pounds, then the heifer that weighs 500 pounds only has to go from 500 to 650 pounds, a total of 150 pounds, from weaning at 7 months of age till breeding at 7 to 8 months later, 210 to 240 days. That heifer doesn't have to gain but 3/4 of a pound a day to get there. And she can do that pretty much under grass conditions with perhaps with mineral and maybe a little bit of protein once in a while. That other heifer that weighs only 440 pounds, she's going to have to gain from 440 to 650 pounds in 7 to 8 months. She's going to have to gain at least a pound a day to get there. So that's an example of some small differences, and you can extrapolate that to if you have bigger cows and have higher targeted weights in terms of age, puberty, or where these heifers start cycling. So that'll kind of give you an idea of why it's important to select the heaviest heifers, okay, at weaning to be potential replacement heifers in your cow herd. Don't look for don't look for heifers that are feminine looking. Look for heifers that are structurally correct, physically sound, that have the type of characteristics that you're interested in your breed, and if they're and also adequate muscling. I'm not one that proposes that heifers have to be very heavily muscled, but they need to have some muscle. They're going to contribute something to the overall muscling of their calf and the value that you're going to receive for it. So we select our heaviest heifers. We got them on a nutritional program. We're monitoring their growth so that they can get to that targeted weight of about 65% by the time that we turn the bulls in with them, or we try to synchronize them. We want to make sure that growth is smooth. We don't want it to be jerky. We don't want it to go through a period of feast and famine. We want that development to be smooth up to that point in time that we're going to turn them in with the bulls.